Within 21 days, almost full closure. There was no pigmentation of these people, these kids. The pain was reduced. This kid, actually, his mom was cooking and she was carrying him in his hand, and she was cooking a pot, and then he moved and he slipped and his hand came into the, so you can see the progress here, and it was reflected. He was walking and he slipped into a fire dent and his leg what. So where do you find fibroblasts? What's the relationship between fibroblasts and skin? And if you take somebody like 65 years old woman, and this is how wrinkles will look like under the microscope, this damage here, and this is ulbilous corium scrotum, or scrotum corneum, and this is, you see the damage. Fibroblasts are here. These are the small dots here, and these are the fibroblasts. And what happens is, as we grow, the number of fibroblasts reduce. So you have light, UV light, habits, smoking, drinking, so forth, and just the process of aging, we lose cell mass. And fibroblasts, actually, if you take this same section from a 7-year-old boy or girl, you'll see this area will be very dense with fibroblasts. So there's a correlation with the number of fibroblasts and how our skin deteriorate. And the thing is, if you want to use the fibroblast to bring the skin, we have to take these fibroblasts and re-inject them in all. It will take us 1,000 years just to put all the cells back. So there's no way we can reverse this process or do a transplant with the fibroblast. So one way to do it is to take these fibroblasts, grow them outside, give them the environment that they are in the skin, and then whatever they will produce here naturally, they'll produce outside in the lab, in the tube, and then apply it topically. And this way you'll make up for the lost fibroblast. And actually this is what I did. Or this is what, not just me, but other people did. So they just, they couldn't put fibroblasts again in the skin. So what they did, they just took the fibroblasts out, grow them, and then give them the signal that they're in the skin, and then allow them to apply topically to make up for the aging. So this reduced aging and or the anti-aging process. In 2003, a company came out with, with this idea. And I start looking, after I found out this, I start looking up literature to see what's on there and how this works. And then I realized that will be a very good source or a way to produce growth factor and to produce product that will do this healing. So I went back to the drawing board, and I decided to say, it's been done before, but how can I improve? So just like wine making, everybody knows how to make wine. It's been done in the thousands of years. What makes this company's wine better than the other is actually the process is almost the same. It's just the grapes quality will determine when you do them and so forth. So the process will really improve. So what I did, this is in my lab in UC Irvine, in the Institute of Immunology, and this machine here behind me called MoFlow. MoFlow is actually, just the machine is actually will start from here and all the way. It's a huge machine. And its own purpose is one single purpose is actually to isolate cells. So MoFlow is a cell sorter. So if you put the 10 million cells, red cells in the tube, and then there's one of them is green, and you just want to take this green out, this machine will allow you to do it. And as an immunologist, literally I spent a lot of days, years in fact, doing this because this is what I do. I work on B cells, and I knew how to get the best cells. So I went and found the source where I can the best growth factor or the best fibroblasts, or mostly progenitor fibroblasts, because I want to catch the fibroblasts before they have an identity so I can manipulate them earlier. So I use this machine. So I recognize what will be the best source of fibroblasts. And then I use a way advanced technology to really isolate these cells that I want, really pick them one by one. And then divide a soup or a culture process for these cells to grow and flourish so they give them the best environment. And then design a way to collect this source of protein or growth factors. So, you can imagine it was a very long and tedious work. And so this is what the starting point. And then a lot of the people say, okay, there's a lot of source for fibroblasts. Why did you have to go through all this trouble to get really one by one and go through all this work, and very expensive work, And that's actually a very valid question. I've been asked while doing this process, everybody's like, just go get a fibroblast from just go and call somebody and they'll send you cells and just grow them and do whatever. And I said, actually, the source of the cell and then what type of cells you use will determine the quality of your product, just like making wine. So, so one way to answer this question is like, what difference does it make to go through all this work? So I said, I need to compare what I'm going to do with other products that have the same technology. And this is what I did. So again, I started what the company used to be, A&G. And so what I did, I went TNS, which is Schemedica, which have the same idea. Dr. Fitzpatrick came up with the same idea also through wound healing, and he realized fibroblasts can be a really good source, or growth factor will be a really good source for anti-aging. So they came up with TNS complex, which came out in 2003. And it was really a hit, to say the least. It was a revolution, actually, in the skincare to have a product. And it was, in America, it's almost in every dermatology clinic you'll see TNS. So, and then when they did the study, this is the score, the result was that came, and you go their website, they'll tell you the result will come after optimum result will show up after 3 months. But it's actually the only product that will give you a result. And it was, a paper was published in 2006 to show their, technology and how it works. And then another company came called Nucleus, and they came with a product called Biogel. And the problem with TNS, I don't know if some of you, I'm sure some of you have tried it or knew about it. It smells really bad. I always try to find a very nice way to say it, or gentle way to say it, but really smell like shit. And understandably so, because I can talk to you about the technology. And then TNS became a very popular nickname for it in America. It's called Tonight No Sex. Reason why? Because when female put it on, at night and go to bed, the husband don't want to even come close to them. And if you see it around, please just try it and smell it so you'll know what I mean. And then Biogel came in, and Nucleus in out of San Francisco, and they knew the technology is great. They knew the problem with TNS. So what they did, they came, instead of putting it in a serum, which is really the best way to deliver product is serum form. They say we can't do serum, we have to do it in a cream, because the cream will make a thick cream to mask the smell. And this is what they did. And they take over, they start competing with TNS for the longest time. And think still a lot of people will prefer Biogel because it's thicker, doesn't have the smell, so, the growth factor, and a lot of doctors are already hooked on the growth factor products. Then came Revive, and Revive was by Dr. Brown in New York. And what he did, he said, we know growth factor is the answer, because he actually used both of these products in his office. But he said, I want to be different. So he went and used keratinocytes as opposed to fibroblasts. And keratinocytes are actually the upper surface cells of your skin, and they are the one who produce keratin. And keratinocytes also have a growth factor on them. They produce growth factor, not so much as the fibroblasts, but they do. The problem with that are the keratinocytes are not made to live long. So culture of them is really a headache. So he went and combined with a lab in Switzerland, and they start doing that. Because the keratinocytes hard to grow and hard to process, they came up with a product, and the product was actually very successful. The problem with that is the price. So for a small vial, actually small, same size as the eye, which is female, in the US sold for $3.99. I'm not sure how much it sells in the UK. And it sells for $3.99 just for a small one. And then now we have a product called Volumizer. It's sold for $6.99 in Neiman Marcus. Actually, I was there to see it. And it's a great product. The problem is it's very expensive. And not everybody can afford it. And a lot of doctors say we cannot carry it because our patient will never spend. And if they spend this much on the product, they won't spend that much with me in the procedure where I make most of my money. So the doctor basically didn't carry it in their office, and nobody was selling it. So Dr. Brown actually sell it himself, literally. So if you go to his website, if you go Revive and then you say Dr. Brown, you click on Dr. Brown, it will show you his schedule, his calendar, where he's going to be. And he will come in, and then his PR people will put flyers and invite people to come in his lecture. And then he will stand just like me and talk to people about the product and how great it is. And then afterward, there will be 2 benches in the door where they sell the product, because I attended the show. and they sell the product. So he sell it himself because he couldn't have hard time retailing it. And it became, and then he started putting to associate with celebrities and make it really give it a hype. But it was a good product at that time. And I have $1,000 for campaigning just, to make flyers to, so there's no way I can compete with them. The only way I can compete with them if I came up with a product that is way better than them. So I have to beat them not only in performance and result, but also in price. Otherwise, I won't have a place in the market. So this is what I did, and I give this study was carried in Allure Imaging in Upland. Allure Imaging is one of the biggest or the most established, really well known in Upland, California, and they have nice facility. So this was done with them, and then Dr. Norman Leaf in Beverly Hills, if you heard of Leaf and Rusher, the other one also who did this study with me. I told them we had to compare, and they already know the product, so it was very good to see. And you can see what we show in score and in time performance was not even something that they can come close to. This is more so we look at the overall. We look at the firmness and fine lines and wrinkle and texture of the cells to see, what the people will say about it. And I was very pleased today before I started the lecture, some people came and talked to me about they tried the product and they are telling me how much it helped them and stuff. And it's really, I think this is what drives me to make me, continue doing this, is because I see everywhere I go, I have people who know it and people who come and say, this helped this and this helped that. So it's really important to have a quality product, and not do the marketing. Let the product speaks. In the U.S., when I started, I didn't sell my product. What I did is actually, if I see a doctor or I meet the doctors, I give them the product for free, and I said, try it with your patient. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you call me. I'll come pick it up. And if we sell anything, we'll split it 50-50, literally. So this is what I did. So imagine every clinic that we have right now, I've started that way. So I say, listen, it's consignment. Just keep it there. We'll come. My staff will come. We'll put the decoration, everything. You sell, good. You don't sell or anything problem, just call us and we'll pick it up. And guess what? We had right now almost a lot. You can say almost 1,800 clinics carry our products, and extremely loyal. We have extremely loyal followers. Celebrities do it. We have really, and it speaks a lot. It's really is a good way to come to the market. So these are the first two products that I came up with. Actually, I came up with the first because I want to see if, how that will work. And then everybody say, hey, I need something for under the eye. It will help, so it was a compliment.